Free speech or not to free speech? It looks like Candace Owens got the hammer from the Daily Wire. Did she or didn't she? Hello, friends. So, in today's conversation, I want to talk a little bit about here, now, and thousands of years ago. Today is Saturday. This is the day when Jesus Christ slept in the tomb, crucified this very weekend, or so we believe in history, or so we've been coined Easter. This is what they're saying. Nobody really knows if this is the actual time. Tomorrow, Sunday, March 31st, we're celebrating Easter. We're celebrating that our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, has risen. He has risen from the dead. He has risen from bondage. He has risen, moved from the tomb, moved from this sinful world, and has escalated back into heaven. But he came here to save our souls and our sins. But as you all know, Jesus was a Jew. Now, I want to start off by saying I am grateful to the Jewish people. I am grateful because they rejected Jesus. And because they rejected Christ, we, the Christians, came into existence. So the first Christians were really the followers of Christ, and Mary Magdalene and so many more. History tells us that the Jews wanted nothing to do with Christ. And so therefore, they went to the enemy. They went to the enemy that had suppressed them, that had tortured them, that looked upon them as if that they were garbage and trash. They went to those people, the Romans, and asked them to take down one of their own. And even the Romans said, I don't see what this man has done wrong. I don't see what he's done wrong. Why do you want to do this to one of your own? The Jews had their own reasons. And so, to satisfy the mob, the cancel culture, as we would say in this day, to satisfy the mob, they were roaring. Just a week prior, 7 days prior, on Palm Sunday, they were still in the streets raving how good this man was. The Messiah had come. It was wonderful. The Messiah had come. And the Jews and the Romans were just like, wow, who is this Messiah? Like, wow, these people are out here in the street just worshiping and praising and loving this man. And 7 days later, those same people were in the street saying, crucify him. Crucify him. And so the Romans, though they did not like it because they saw no fault in Jesus, but they had to satisfy the mob. They capitulated to the angry mob. And so they crucified him. Hello, friends, and welcome to The Conservative Poet. I am Amania, and I want to say thank you to all of the new subscribers. We got a whole lot of people that hit that subscribe button, and I want to say thank you for doing that, because I will surely work hard to entertain you, to bring you information, and just to be the fighter out here in the streets for you. So thank you for subscribing. God bless you and God keep you. So we're bringing it back to present day. And I want to talk about this in reference to what's happening to Candace Owens. Now, I want to say this again. I stand with Israel. I stand with the Jews because they are God's chosen people. Okay? And I carry, I have my little pin on here today, which I wear often, my little American flag and Jewish flag. So I want to just get that out the way because I don't want this to become anything that YouTube can say is against the Jews. Because again, I do stand with Israel. I do believe that they have a right to defend themselves because they were attacked. And there's casualties. There's a whole lot of casualties. But this is something that's been going on for decades. This has been going on for a very long time, and I'll leave it there. But I really want to just talk about Candace Owens and what is happening to her. Now, she works for the Daily Wire, which is a freedom of speech sort of platform. Ben Shapiro, who is one of the co-founders, they have built their business on, being a freedom of speech platform where, again, Ben Shapiro has had many occasions on college campuses and different places where he would go to speak, and they don't want him. Again, his voice being censored. And so they have this platform, this publishing platform, where they say, yes, we are all about freedom of speech. You can be here. We're going to talk conservative things. And so now one of their own is being pulled out. But yet the Daily Wire seems to be pulling back from one of their own, not supporting one of their own, because one of their own is saying things that they don't like because of their religion, which is the Jewish religion. And not that she's saying anything that's so against the Jews. It's just that she's saying that I don't want Palestinian children being murdered the way they are right now in Gaza. She's a mother, baby in her belly, and she's saying, I don't want, holding her belly, I don't want children being slaughtered the way they are in reference to this war on any side of the aisle. But the Jewish mob says, no, if you say things like that, then you are anti-Semitic. You hate the Jews if you say things like that. Again, everybody can defend themselves. The children are innocent, but they do grow up to become what they grow up to be. They follow their religion and so on. And so they will grow up to be Muslims, and they will grow up to be and have their own beliefs in how things are, their history and so on. But as children, they are innocent. So we're going to show a clip of Candace Owens interviewing Rabbi Barkley is his name. This was an intense conversation. It went on for almost an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We're not going to cover all that here. There's a lot in that interview. If you watch it, you will see the way that this rabbi addresses Candace and talks to her. It's very condescending, very superior in many ways. And, it's a very interesting conversation. I really would love to just sit and go bit by bit by bit. But unfortunately, I don't have that amount of time to go through that interview and just respond to like everything and every moment in it. But I will pick a couple of different pieces, and we're going to display that, and we're going to talk about it. So let's go.
Referring to that article that you wrote last week, published on March 9th, it The heading reads, "Let's be honest, Candace Owens is a Jew-hating bigot." So that's very punchy, very strong language. And I want to actually go through this article point by point. Could you provide for us a definition of anti-Semitism?
Absolutely. I really appreciate that, because I think that is the break. If we're not speaking the same language, where can we go, right? So there's a man, a blessed memory, man named Lord Jonathan Sachs. He was the chief rabbi of England. He had a great line. He really defined anti-Semitism. That anti-Semitism is Jews have no right to exist collectively as Jews with the same rights as other human beings.
You are a bigot-hating Jew. That's what he calls her in his article. And then his explanation, or his reference of what anti-Semitism is that people feel that the Jews have no right to exist. That's the so-called definition of anti-Semitism, is that the Jews have no right to exist.
We're against them for their religion. It's against them for their race. This anti-Semitism is the oldest hate in the world, and the hate that mutates. In 1948, because remember, it says Lord Sachs.
Oh, I just want to pause it. You said it's a hate that mutates.
Correct.
So your belief then is that the definition of anti-Semitism can necessarily change. Is that correct?
It's not just my belief. It is the commonly accepted understanding in both the Jewish and academic worlds.
Okay.
This isn't, okay. As I said, that's why I quoted, this is a quote. It's a great thing from Lord Sachs, Jonathan Sachs. It's a great thing from Nihilecka. This is just accepted as the understanding of, a cultural anthropologist.
So I would just say off the bat, I do not accept that definitions can just mutate. That is something that I could debate that on, like the definition of a woman. I mean, and I'm saying not just about Jewish people. I think that we have to have a concrete definition to work with, because then you can just update and say, actually, I've changed that, and now this is what constitutes anti-Semitism.
Hello, fellow patriots. Thank you so much for your support. And again, you can do so by purchasing products from the Orlando Patriots, mugs, t-shirts, all of your patriotic gear. We are in an election year, so we need to show the world that we support our candidates, especially President Trump. So get some gear at theorlandopatriot.com and you'll get 30% off. Thank you for your support. It means the world to me. I'll see you there. So, anti-Semitism, the definition can be mutated. You can add this into it, you can add this into it, you can add that into it. You can't have a firm, this is what it means, because it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And anything can be thrown into the anti-Semitism bucket as anti-Semitism. So people can just decide at any whim, oh, that's anti-Semitic, that's anti-Semitic, that anti-Semitic. So I just so happen to have a dictionary here, friends. And I'm going to just read what it says here in reference to what is. I know he says there that the scholars has said, the great scholars, the great minds, the great Jewish minds of certain different the great minds have said, this is what it is. And how dare you, you little black girl, how dare you come here to tell me, the scholar, the one who knows it all. You can't define what that is because you're not one of us. Pretty much is what he said. So here's the definition from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. And it says, anti-Semitism is hostility towards Jews as a religious or social minority. So this doesn't say nothing about anything else. Exactly what it says. It's hostility towards Jews in their religion and hostility towards social minority. So thinking that they are not as superior. But this man, this Jewish rabbi, he portrays as if the Jewish race, the Jewish people are superior to all because they have been persecuted for for a very, 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 very long time, and that they have been persecuted. Now, I'm going to say this. I want to throw this in now, being that I remembered to think about it. So even God had problems with the Jewish Israeli people. God saved the Jews over and over again. He sent this prophet, he sent that prophet, he sent this prophet to try to save the Jews from themselves because they were so, what's the word? I can't think of the word. But he sent people to save them, to warn them, to save them because he loved them so. Over and over and over again. Sometimes they listened and they repented and it was all good, kumbaya, back in the embrace of God, right? And then they would fall again and turn to the demons, turn to the wickedness, turn to sin, and they would put Jesus to the side, and Jesus would send another prophet and send another prophet until it became Jesus who God sent to do it once again. That was the last time. And of course, the last time we all know that the Jews rejected Jesus, right? So the Jews themselves have had problems with the Almighty Creator, or the Almighty Creator has had problems with his beloved Israel and the Jewish people. Because why? Because they consistently break the covenant between God and them and their religion. And God is constantly trying to mend those relationships. And Jesus was the last one that was sent in to fix this for the Jews. And they said, no thanks, friend. That happened. And what did they do? They sold him to the Romans, practically, yeah. And guess what? They killed him. Just saying. So after that interview with the rabbi, and the rabbi, I mean, he has a meltdown. I mean, it's a mess. I'm not going to play all of that here. You can find it if you want it. So with that, the next day, Candace went on her show and essentially made her last episode on the Daily Wire, because once you look at that, you realize that there's no turning back, because people came for her because of that interview, because she stood a solid ground and she made him look like the crazy fool that he is. Because how is it that they presented you with the actual footage and videos of what this woman said, and you still stood by, you double down? It's like, here's the truth, here it is. How do you double down on that? So her audience seeing that, we the world are seeing that this guy is not altogether there. And then because people are so butthurt and just emotions. And he said in one of the clips, I don't know if that was played here, is that also the new version of anti-Semitism is that it goes according to people's feelings. So if you hurt somebody's feelings, if you hurt their feelings, that is now anti-Semitism as well. If you hurt their feelings, then again, the definition says, hostility towards their religion. If you have something to say in reference to the person, not their religion, not my Christianity, but me, Amania, the person, then if you have something against me, then you have something against my religion, Christianity. And that's how they've intertwined the Jewish people and Judaism. It's all become one. So you can't say anything against Jews in the religion aspect. You can't say anything against Jews in the person aspect or the Israeli aspect, anything in reference to Jews as a whole is now anti-Semitic, because again, the definition is saying, as he puts it, it's about our feelings now, because the definition keeps mutating. We can add anything we want into this definition because the scholars has said this is what it is. And so it's just this box that keeps getting full, and it's a never-ending pit that you can't fill.
That what he did yesterday was actually quite courageous. A couple of moments that you guys were shocked by, just like me, was, I guess, just the lack of definition when it comes to anti-Semitism. It mutates. He told us that over and over again. It is a definition. It is a hate that mutates, which essentially, at least the way I took it, and I think most of you took it, means that it can just be whatever they say that it is.
Seen that, heard that, good. In that last episode of Candace's show, she really laid down her career, how all of this has started with her and the Jewish community being at odds, why they have come for her. I mean, in the longer form of this video, her last one, she actually said it. She said, these people, look at this dog. Rocky, where did you come from? Oh my God. We'll just continue. Don't scratch on the people. So Candace really explains in this video that, you know, she has been persecuted for years by these people. And, you know, her crime is really just not submitting to what it is that they want. She's just not willing to do that. And I have the same type personality when it comes to all of this. I'm not willing to change my language in reference to any of this. In this clip that we're going to look at now is Anna Kasparian, who is very passionate in reference to what's happening in the Gaza Strip. Not that she's an ally to Candace. Candace has not really come out to say everything that this woman has says, Anna, but it just kind of shows you that there are different voices out here screaming the same things outside of on their platforms, and they're saying, you know, enough death in the Gaza Strip.
Point of Anna Kasparian, her and I have basically been on the opposite sides of everything throughout our entire career. She has said horrible things about me, but so what? I thought this video was interesting, and I'm going to show you what she said regarding AIPAC.
AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil, evil. My fellow Americans, are you okay with that? Are you okay with a lobbying group representing the best interests of a foreign government telling you you need to bust your ass every day, work a job that you likely hate, and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip? Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap say things that make it clear that they feel entitled to our money. Entitled. That gets under my skin more than you guys understand, okay?
That's an impassioned response, and what she's referring to there are some leaked documents from an AIPAC meeting. AIPAC, of course, alongside Big Pharma, is one of the biggest lobbying organizations in the United States. They lobby our congressmen, and I'm certain that that includes journalists, because if you have a budget like AIPAC, why wouldn't you be lobbying journalists as well to essentially always fight to have pro-Israel narratives? And again, I want to be clear, I am not anti-Israel. This is what is so wild about all of this. I'm just not anti-Palestinian.
So you saw that? Anna is very passionate because of the dollars, the American taxpayer money that is helping to destroy lives in foreign countries. And I would have to say that it doesn't matter if it's Israel, if it's Gaza, if it's Ukraine, all that. Lives are still being lost, and our American hard-earning tax money is going there to fund these things. So on that front, I definitely have a fight. We all have a dog in this fight because it is our money. When you look at your check, it's your money that's going towards whatever it is the government deems they need to do in foreign countries. So with that, I hear you, Anna. So Candace ends her show by telling you exactly whose side she's on. She says that Jesus Christ is king. And that's the side that she's on.
But I also want to say this because it's so important. I am team God. Okay? I'm team God. I do not fear the media. I do not fear journalists. I do not fear AIPAC. I don't fear big pharma. What I actually fear is God. I think that one day we are all going to have to account for the things that we have done and the things that we have said. And I want to make sure that I am not a person that is parroting lies. The fear of losing your job, encouraging some people to spit out lies, I don't think that works in the end, right? I think you got to check your priorities. And so with that said, I want to thank everybody who has been on this journey with me, people that have supported me. I especially want to thank all of the Jewish people that have been in the comments saying how outraged they are. And I know that it is especially difficult for you guys right now because you are being smeared, you know? I mean, I'm not going to go away. I'm going to use my God-given voice to talk about the things that are important for me. I'm just asking to be left alone, or at least just report the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. But don't worry, because we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode.
Seen that, heard that, good. Daily Wire. The pitchforks are out to take down one of your own. But instead of standing with one of your own, she was taken out. But I believe Candace Owens is going to come out on top because that's what truth does. Truth comes out on top. Truth tellers comes out on top. Why? Because truth tellers are doing God's work. And she just told you she is going to be on God's team. Because at the end of the day, when all of this is over, when death comes for us, and it comes for us all, when we're in heaven or in hell, depends on where you're going. But when you face your maker, we will have to account for everything. And so she said it in a tweet not too long ago that you can't serve two masters. You can't serve the devil and you can't serve God at the same time. You can't serve God and you can't serve the devil at the same time. You can't serve money. You can't. If you're going to serve God, you serve God and God alone. And so, friends, that's where we are on this Easter Sunday. And I am grateful because I have been saved, because we have Christianity, because Jesus was rebelled by the Jews, and therefore Christianity was born. And so we say he has risen, and Jesus is the King of the Jews, and Jesus Christ is King. I'll see you in another video. God bless you. Happy Easter. May God keep you. And let's talk in the comments. I'm out.